Good morning, everybody. How we doing?
Good morning, man.
Good morning. How's things looking out there, Robert?
We're cruising. It's a Tuesday. Can't really say things are up or down. We're kind of right in that flat line. It feels like, but still out there making money. Trucks are happy, and you know, just doing our.
Yeah, it seems like the trucking markets are just kind of staying flat here, but we're not in a bad spot. Seems like we're in a pretty decent spot as
Yeah,
far as volumes go. We're looking at the weighted rejection index here. It doesn't look like there's been much change week over week as far as volumes go. The biggest change is right here in Denver. We've seen a decrease in rejection. So I mean that's a good thing, or actually that's a bad thing for that market. Anywhere you see the red is indicative of a cooling market. But then Grand Rapids looks like it's picking up in its rejection. So those are really only two markets where we see a lot of change. Everything else just kind of stagnant. Um,
I feel like with Denver though, you're gonna see that it's such a small market. There's not a lot of stuff coming out of there. If there's a bunch of trucks going in there, they're gonna be grabbing up what loads are there.
yeah,
You're not gonna see a lot of rejection on it.
that's the thing. And with this weighted tender rejection index, it pretty much weighs the amount of rejections compared to the market size, which is nice because then you can really see what the markets are doing. It's hard to tell when you don't have the actual market volume in there. So yeah, so
Yeah.
we're not seeing much change. A few spots here um, where we've seen some change. Right here in Ontario, looks like it kind of dipped down on the rejected tenders, but nothing too crazy as far as we're seeing on this end. I was talking to one of the dispatchers this morning. He said that freight coming out of Savannah has kind of cooled off. I don't know if you run any trucks in that area, what you're seeing.
I typically stay up out of that area. We do have another dispatcher in the office that kind of handles some trucks that run in and out of that area. I really don't go below Atlanta and South Carolina for the most part, just because it's such a volatile market. You can get great rates going in there, but sometimes you have to eat your rate coming out,
Yeah.
and it can turn into a headache. So typically I stay out of there, but it's been looking like it's booming. And I was reading some reports about them expanding the Jacksonville harbor. So, it could be an up and coming market, with more consistency in the near future.
Right. Yeah, well, we'll see. I think with Savannah and that whole area there, the port traffic is really what's driving the market. So
Yeah.
as long as we're importing goods, which we love to consume in this country, we'll see these volumes stay up. So that's good. Look at some rates here. Elk Ridge, Maryland, to Hartford, Connecticut's paying good. Of course, those little short runs up there that usually pay the best. If you're on a reefer. I know we got a reefer challenge this week. You said you haven't really got a chance to take a look at it, but we're running a truck in the
Thought
Midwest.
we were running flatbed.
Yeah, we're running a flatbed in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So let's see, let me see if I can get you guys any information here. If I just sort by value, there's your best paying lane. Oh wait, at flatbed, let's look for something in the Midwest. Harrisburg to Massachusetts, Baltimore to Boston, LA to Vegas. You're running a few trucks on that lane, aren't you? What do you see?
I
What
am.
are you seeing out there to LA to Vegas?
Dude, on the drive end, I mean, you're looking at coming out of the Ontario area about 220 to 280 on the miles, depending on where you're coming out of the greater LA area. I mean, I just pulled a $1,700 load. I didn't run the math on it, but I'm sure somebody out there could. It's over $5 a mile.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's a whopper, man. Ontario's booming. That's a great lane.
yeah. If you're out there on the West Coast running California, there's money coming out. Getting back in's a little trickier, but there's
You
money.
can see $2 to $3 a mile coming back in, depending on the load, the drops, where it's landing at in the LA area as well.
Looks
So it's a great lane.
looks like the LA to Phoenix market's also picking up. I think that's another lane you run regularly.
Yeah, definitely it is. I mean, comparable rates, a little bit more miles. You're running about an extra 100 miles on the trip. The rates are the same coming and going. So, run a little bit less miles, end up in Vegas, and you know, you end up there on the weekend, you can have a good time.
Yeah, when we're talking West Coast, West Coast is pretty limited on your markets. What do you got? You got Phoenix, you got Salt Lake City, you got Boise, Seattle, Portland,
Yeah, you're at five
Los
corridor.
Angeles, and that's it, man. There really ain't much.
Yeah.
But it looks like all these lanes are paying pretty good. LA to Salt Lake's also up a little bit here. So if you're on the West Coast, stick to those major markets. It really doesn't pay to get stuck in the middle because you're just deadheading back into one of those markets anyway,
Yeah.
unless you got something coming out. But West Coast is pretty easy compared to what you're seeing on the East Coast. What are we seeing in the
Yeah,
headlines?
definitely.
Anything in the headlines here?
Uh, well, a little bit of good news. I mean, it's not a lot of good news, but the 3 cents is a little bit of good news. The rest of that headline is great news. Diesel drops 3 cents to the lowest price since April.
That's
We
good.
know that one of the biggest and most guaranteed expenses and insurance is going to be your fuel. And we've been getting reamed the last few months, and it's kind of nice to see it, you know, trending downward as far as the price.
Fuel definitely is an expense you're not getting away without paying because gotta have fuel in the truck to run, and we have seen prices on the rise. So it's nice to see a little, um, momentum in the other direction. So hopefully it holds and it goes down, and we'll see. But I think a lot of
Definitely.
the rate increases we're seeing have something to do with the diesel raising as well. So you may see a little bit of dip in your rates if this dips too much, just because if you're saving money, then the shippers want to save money as well, and that's just
You're not seeing the fuel surcharge.
yeah, that's just the market we're in. Um, about this guy, he looks like he's a little bit crazed here.
These truck stops, man. Leave it to the Florida man, I
What
guess.
what's he doing?
Uh, I honestly don't know if he knows or
Is he just
anybody
mad at
knows,
truckers?
but a couple truck drivers, yeah, drivers, man, they don't realize we bring all their kids Christmas presents,
I guess not.
and their groceries. But guys woke up to, truck drivers woke up to this gentleman just ramming his vehicle into parked trucks, um, driving erratically through the rest area. They found marijuana and pills in the suspect's vehicle. I mean, if there was a more fitting place for him to be from in Florida, a place called Hollywood, uh,
Right.
you know,
Hollywood, Florida.
it's they charged him with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill, which I mean, I don't really know how to feel about that. It's pretty dangerous. Anybody could be out in the middle of that and
Yeah,
get caught in this crazy guy's.
I think mental health is an issue that we're facing in this country. So we might see a lot of more of this. You
Yeah,
never know. It goes into.
it's a fringe with mental health right now with being confined in their houses for the last year and a half and
I,
bills and
I think that has a
I
lot.
don't want to say lack of work, but
Yeah,
lack of
well,
workers.
yeah, lack of workers. Well, I think a lot of it is with the COVID crisis, people were able to work remote, and a lot of people have decided that that's their preferred method of work is to work remote. And so a lot of companies, including our own, are now sourcing labor um, through those means.
Yeah,
Remote
yeah,
workers
definitely.
are definitely available if you own a business and that's something you can do. You'd be surprised at the amount of talent you can reach through those means. Locally, I think people they don't want to go back into work, one because of the virus, and two because they just got accustomed to working from home. So it's just really keeping a lot of
Yeah,
the workforce at home, and we need workers out there showing up and doing the tasks that are need to be done. That's why we're seeing shortages in lumber and wheat and soy and sugar and you name it. Prices are up everywhere.
everything.
It's a crazy,
Our
crazy world, man. Crazy world.
our biggest deficit is in the workforce.
Mm.
Everybody paying money to stay at home. Why go back?
Yeah, that's it. So if you can work from home and be home with your kids, save on daycare and spend more time with the family, why wouldn't you want to do that? And I think a lot of workers are holding out for that. So we'll see what happens, but we'll wrap this show up. We're 10 minutes in, and just talk about volumes. Um, volumes this year are different than any other year that I've seen, or that I think anybody in this industry has seen. Volumes are just up, and I don't know if it's because there's not enough capacity to cover the volume. That's why we're seeing such high volumes, or if just consumerism is just firing on all cylinders, and people are just buying stuff to buy stuff. But whatever it
I
is,
think that's part of the
but
part of it. Yeah.
whatever it is, it's really driving volumes, and the truckers are getting paid because there's a capacity shortage there too. You can't find people to drive trucks anymore. That's not something you can do remotely. So
Nope.
you have less trucks in the market, more loads in the market. It doesn't look like my screen's going to load up. Now it wants to. That's really going to affect the prices, and that's what we've been seeing. In fact, if we're looking at this chart, you could see this year where the blue is here. Um, we're way up over where we were last year. Even last year, we were down here on this purple
Way up.
line where we were elevated. But look at the years prior. This is the green one's 2017, 2018, and then this one's 2018, 2019. They were pretty similar, and we thought 2018 was great. Well, look where 2018's coming in. Way below where we're at now.
Oh yeah.
And so that's good. That's good news for everybody that's out there trying to move freight and make some money, and working loads off the load boards and running the spot freight. So even good for guys with dedicated freight, I think. So overall,
Yeah, definitely.
markets are good. Uh, a few markets are showing a little bit of a change, but most of them are about the same as they were last week. So if you're out there and you're running, you make money pretty much anywhere you want to run. Pick your region, run it. Coast to coast isn't paying as well as just sticking to your regions at this point. So with that, I think we'll wrap it up. You got anything you want to add, Bob?
Not other than just give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
If you like what you're seeing,
Make
guys,
it golden.
and we're adding value to you, and you're learning something, and we're helping you, please like, subscribe, and tune in daily. We're going to try to put these shows out daily. We're just kind of getting this thing off the ground, so you may not see them at first, but eventually we'll get these things out daily, and eventually we'll get them out live. So we'll get
We're
there.
working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it slowly but surely. We'll get it there. So anyway, with that, we're gonna wrap it up, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. So we're out.
All right, guys. See you
All right,
tomorrow. Always
see
a
you.
pleasure.
Yep. See you.